Good morning to everyone. I am Harigar Sudan, pursuing M.Tech Structural Engineering in VIT Chennai. The topic today we are going to see is design of the spandrel beam. Now let's get into the topic. What is spandrel beam? In steel or concrete structures, the spandrel beam is the exterior beam or edge beam that stretches horizontally from one column to another column, whereas they are also known as edge beam or primary beam. This will be constructed first. In this picture, they clearly represent the connection of spandrel beam and the connection of slab and the connection of column. These slides explain about the load distribution in spandrel beam, whereas the spandrel beams are designed to transfer external wall loads and slab loads from slab to the outer columns. Then the whole load is passed on the footing through the column. In RC structures, this beam undergoes axial compression, torsion, bending moment, and shears simultaneously due to the interaction with the floor beams. This below picture represents the transfer of load in a structure, whereas at first the load will be acting on the span, then the load is transferred to the beam, then the load is transferred from beam to column, then the load is transferred from column to footing, whereas the footing is rested on the earth. Advantages of spandrel beam. Spandrel beams impact extra strength to the outer side of the multi-storage building. These beams increases the lateral stiffness of the steel and the concrete structures in wide beam column connection. Spandrel beams with both longitudinal and transverse reinforcement are preferred to be used. These enhance the building seismic performance. Spandrel beams are used in coupled shear walls to produce sufficient stiffness and also ductility against earthquake activity. They also provide support for the external side opening such as window along with shear walls and lintel. These slides explain about the disadvantage of spandrel beam. As spandrel beams are located on the exterior of a building, this more often comes in contact with the moisture in the floor beams, which result in cracking and spalling of concrete, deterioration or rusting of reinforcement steel, whereas the restoration for this effect takes more amount of money compared to the normal beams. Now let's get into the basic assumption for a design. For every design, we need a basic assumption like width of the beam, which will be represented as B, depth of the beam, which will be represented as D, grade of concrete FCK, grade of steel FY, nominal cover and span of beam, which is also known as length of beam. Now let's get into the design procedure of a spandrel beam. The step number 1 which is to be followed is the width and depth of the beam, which is to be assumed. Then the cover of the beam, which can be assumed or has been taken from IS 456-2000 from the page number 47. Then the effective cover can be found out by some formulas. For example, effective cover is equal to nominal cover plus diameter of bar plus diameter of stirrups divided by 2. Then the effective width and depth of the beam has to be found out, which is found out by subtracting the depth and width of the beam to the effective cover, which has been found out in the above step. Then the diameter of bar and stirrups, which we are going to use, is to be assumed. Then step number 2. In this step, we calculated the load and moment and shear forces acting on the beam, whereas the loads are taken from the code book IS 875 part 1, part 2, part 3, whereas loads classified as live load, dead load and wind load. Mostly in seismic areas we will consider seismic load also. And a maximum moment and maximum shear force has to be found out at, or else we can straightly put the values in the stat and we can able to analyze the maximum force and maximum shear also too. Whereas in step number 3, the AST and ASC of steel of the beam is to be found out at, which will be useful for the reinforcements of the beam, whereas the percentage of tensile steel and compression steel is found out, which will be found out by using a manual method or referring a codebook SP16 page number 49. In SP16 page number 49, we can able to see the percentage of tensile steel and compression steel in the second row of one column, which denotes mu divided by BD square. Then the AST and ASC is found out by the formula PT is equal to 100 AST divided by BD. Then the number of bars and diameters of bars for the reinforcement is found out from SP16 page number 229, which will be represented in a graph. Then at last, the check for shear and deflection will be checked whether the number of bars and the dia of bars be given can withstand the deflection and the shear. These are some important formed assumptions on the code books for design procedure, whereas nominal cover I have told already IS 456 table 19 page number 47. Effective cover is equal to 100 plus nominal cover plus diameter of steps into diameter of bar divided by 2. Whereas in the fourth steps we can able to find the AST by manual formula. Mu is equal to 0.87y AST into D into 1 minus AST divided by BD into FCK. To find the shears, we have two formula. Tau V is equal to VU divided by BD and VUS is equal to VC minus tau C into BD. Whereas this formula comes from IS 456 2000 class 40.4 page number 72 to 73. Whereas tau C is found out from IS 456 2000 page number 73. And the spacing of the bar will be found out by VUS is equal to 0.87 FY dot D into SV. Whereas here ASP is equal to area of compression steel and the maximum amount of maximum amount of spacing has to be calculated, which will be a check for the spacing from the class of 26.5.1.5 page number 47 in the code book of IS 456 2000. Now let's get into an example of design sheet. Here, this Excel represent a design of a spandrel beam, whereas the assumptions which we have taken here is FCK 25 kN meter square grade of concrete, Fy is equal to 415 Newton by mm square grade of steel. Then here we have taken B is equal to 400 mm. Actually, width of the beam is equal to 400 mm. Then the depth of the beam D is equal to 700 mm, and the nominal cover is equal to 25 mm. Which the values we are assumed. Then the effective cover is equal to nominal cover plus diameter of bar divided by 2 plus diameter of stirrups. Then the effective depth and effective width has been calculated by subtracting the effective cover with the depth and width. Then the length of the beam is assumed. Then the number of legged. Actually, we are using 2 legged here, so we have taken 2 leg with 8 mm stirrup. Then the moment and shear has been found out by using stat value, or we can directly substituting the formulas and we can able to get the required moment and shear. Then we have to find the PT percentage of tensile steel required and the percentage of compression steel required, which are the basics for the design of area of tensile steel and area of compression steel, whereas the PT value can be found out by mu divided by BD square, whereas the PT value can be found out by mu divided by BD square. In that, we can able to find out the PT value by referring SP16. Then the tension for compression ASC will be found out at by using the formula 100 AST divided by BD, or 100 or AST is equal to P into B divided by 100. Like that, for the same formula has to be used for finding out the ASC. ASC is equal to B into P into D divided by 100. With the help of AST and ASC, we can able to find out the number of number of bars and the diameter of bars used for the reinforcement. Here we have taken first layer and second layer. At first tension, we have taken at the top we have considering 25 mm of diameter bar consists of two numbers, and at the middle we have taken 25 mm of diameter bar with two numbers. Then at the bottom we have taken 25 mm of two numbers of bars for that. Then for second layer we have taken 25 mm of four numbers of diameter of bars. The middle we have taken nothing, but in the end support we have taken 25 mm of 4 mm dia bars. And then for the same, for compression we have taken 32 mm diameter of 5 numbers of bars, and in the middle they have not given, and in the end we have given 32 mm of 5 numbers of bars. In second layer there will be no reinforcements has been provided. Then the PT provided and the PC provided is calculated. Then the last step we are going to find is tau v and tau c, which will be represented as shears. Tau v is equal to Vu divided by BD cube, whereas Vu is equal to maximum shear force divided by BD, breadth and depth of the beam. Then tau c, which will be find out from the graph with the base of tau v value from the table 19 IS 456-2000 page number 73. Then the VUS is found out by formula VUS is equal to VU minus tau c into BD, whereas VU is a maximum shear force, tau c is the value which has been found out above. Then BD is the breadth and depth of the beam, whereas this formula comes from class 40.4 page number 72 IS 456-2000. Then the spacing of stirrups should be calculated from the formula VUS is equal to 0.87 Fy ASV into D into SV, whereas ASV is equal to area of stirrups, which can be followed by the type of leg and the diameter of stirrup. For example, if you have taken two-legged stirrup means then 2 into pi by 4 into h square, whereas pi by 4 into h square is the formula to find out the area of one steel member. Then the maximum spacing is checked out by referring the class 26.5.1.5 page number 47 IS 456-2000, which will be 300 mm. At the last, the deflection is checked by the modifying factor. That is, modifying factor is equal to actual span divided by although span. These are the steps to be followed to design the spandrel of beam, which is also known as H beam. Here, the Excel sheet has been attached to the PPT for the reference. Thank you for seeing the video. I hope it will be useful to you. See you in the next video. Thank you. Hari, Hari, first of all, my kid.